everybody, welcome to Nattie's Home Cooking. Tonight we're going to be making the meatloaf Wellington. This is what it looks like when it's cut open, and it was really good. The bread for the recipe for the bread you can find on my cooking channel, and it would be under homemade Lola's rolls. This is what it's going to look like when you go on there. It's homemade Lola's bread. You have the whole recipe in there to make that bread. So you're going to start off with your beef. You're going to mix everything together in it. So we're going to just put this all in a bowl, and we'll add the eggs and the seasonings along with this and the crackers. So let's get started. Okay, so we're just going to chop up these onions into little small pieces, and then we're going to throw it in with the hamburger. Next, I'm just going to do a half of a jalapeno. I don't want to add a whole one, so because I don't want it too spicy. And by the way, when you make your bread, make sure you do like a double batch, depending on how many people you got to feed. So I did a double batch for that. And then for my beef, I think about 2 pounds of ground beef for this. Okay, and next is going to be the 1 sleeve of crackers. So I just use a whole sleeve, and I just crumble them up inside the package there. Really, fine, as little as I can, and just add them in there because they're going to be all crunched up together in that hamburger anyway. So just add 1 sleeve of crackers, and then 2 eggs. And then I add in ketchup as well. And I do about probably a half a cup of ketchup or a little more. Just enough to give it some little bit of juices in with that, because you don't want your meatloaf too dry. And then salt and pepper and garlic powder. That's all that I use in the meatloaf. That's it. Nothing else goes in here. And it tastes just fine. So once you get all that mixed up in there together, you're going to mix it all up with your hands. So you'll add your hands and just start mixing it up really well. Make sure everything is mixed up, and until you don't have any wetness all over. You want it all mixed in there. And also that make sure that egg is mixed up too. Then once you get done with your dough rising, you're going to go ahead and cut it into half, because I'm making 2 of these beef Wellingtons, or meatloaf Wellingtons, and I'm going to just spread this out like in a rectangle, because you want to add that meat in there, and you want to have enough room to fold it up like a blanket. It's kind of like a blanket. So you'll see what I'm doing here. So next what you're going to do is you're going to take your hamburger mixture, and you're just going to kind of do like a rectangle hamburger, like meatloaf. You don't want it too thick, and you don't want it too thin either. You want it in like a, kind of like how I'm doing it right here. So the best I can describe it, and then you'll have enough room to where you can fold this. But before we fold this, we want to add cheese on top. So we're just going to add all the cheese here. I should have actually placed, some cheese on the bottom of this, and then added my meat down, and then added more cheese on top. That's personally like how I like to do my meatloaf Wellingtons. So anyway, once you do all this, and you want to fold it up just like this way it make sure it stays and stuff. Then you're going to squeeze those creases like that to seal it in, because you want to be able to seal it in, because once that meat starts cooking, you want it to have enough to where it'll cook inside, so that warmth will stay in there and cook that meat. So that's why. And you don't want it to be coming out of the seams and everything like that. So now for my meatloaf, what I like to do is I like to do a razor cut up at the top to give it some, uh, texture and to be able to cook inside there. I don't like to really do that or leave it closed up. Also, I like to put aluminum foil on top of mine so that my bread doesn't get too burnt and crispy. So now I'm actually putting down the cheese first, and then my meatloaf, and then more cheese. But anyway, you want to put aluminum foil on it when it's cooking in the oven with the inside that bread, because this way it'll cook slowly and it doesn't cook too fast on that bread, because I don't want to burn my bread. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this one here, get this one done, and then we're gonna put it in the oven on 375 to 380, and we're gonna let it just cook until it gets nice and golden brown. I did mine, I think it was about, I was telling my son, I think it was about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe a little longer, not too much longer. But this is how it turned out. It turned out really great. I always cut straight down the middle, like down like half, so that I know for sure it got completely done. And if I feel that, the meat needs to cook a little longer, I will definitely do that. But it's nice and stiff. It's not soggy or anything like that. And it's actually very crispy when you're cutting into it. Okay, so I'm going to just cut into it straight, right in the center of it, because I want to make sure that my meat is completely finished. I know my bread is done. This is why I put the aluminum foil on top, just because I don't want it to overburn. So my meatloaf looks really good. We actually tasted the meat, and I felt it, because I don't want to be serving raw meat to somebody. You don't want to do that. It actually turned out really good, and the cheese is just melting. But the hamburger was completely done. It was perfect. So, but you definitely want to make sure that your meat is done. If it's not done, even when you open it up, go ahead and put it back in there, but make sure to put the aluminum foil back on it and cook it a little longer. It's not going to hurt anything. But just keep an eye on it so you don't, so you don't burn it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get ready to serve our food and get this done and cut up into slices. Okay, as I'm cutting it into the slices, it's great. It's crispy. I can hear that crunching sound from the bread. To me, my bread kind of seems like a croissant in a way. And it even tastes like a croissant. It's so flaky and amazing. But anyway, as you're cutting this, just, you want it to be sliced just like this. And if it holds pretty good, even as you turn it, and that meat is not falling out, your meat's good. It's all perfect. So anyway, I'm going to get all these sliced up and then serve it to my family, and then we're going to get ready to eat. So I just want to say thanks, you guys, for watching my video. You can watch the rest of this video. I'm going to show you what it looks like as we open it up, and I'll show you the other one as well that I'm going to take it out of the oven. But anyway, thank you again for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You all have a great night. Stay safe, and God bless.